Hey everybody, it's Tony George for DocSports.com, along with my good buddy Scott Spreitzer, right there, the big Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, and of course we want you to click that link in the description below. Scott, I know you have a big Super Bowl card.
Yep.
I know I've got one, side totals, some props. Click that link in the description below. We'll give you a free $60, and cards are $30 each from all the handicappers at the website, which means you could get Scott and I free.
Yep.
If you've never been a member. We're talking about the big game here today and some prop bets for you as well, and the betting action. Kansas City Chiefs holding steady at -1. I saw -1.5
Sure.
in a couple of spots, Scott, and the total steady at 54.5. Tight ball game, Scott, and of course some value in prop betting. I know you've been tracking what's been going on here with the betting action out here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and by the way, all those plays for the Super Bowl, whether they be prop, side total, all the above, everybody over at DocSports.com will have those plays posted Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. So anytime after that, you can go grab them. Yeah, as far as what's going on with this, the side is still basically Kansas City won for the most part, Tony, and the total has gone up to as high as 55 in some spots, still some 54.5s out there. We spoke about that. We were both kind of scratching our heads when we saw the books open it as low as they did, and it had nothing to do with what we think is going to happen over or under. It has to do with every Joe Blow walking off the street betting the over. If you set the total at 52, even 51.5 offshore, I saw one opening total. So it has gone now to where I had set it myself in my mind, thinking like a bookmaker, thinking you're going to get all that public action before the lines even came out, sitting around 55. Here's the betting on this one. KC ticket count as of midweek when we talk about this game, getting about 58% of the spread tickets, getting about 54, 55% of the money at this point on the Kansas City Chiefs in most books. And it's one of those situations where I know the total, for instance, I think is going to see some sharp under money. We'll see what happens when it comes to the side, because normally you're going to get betting on the favorite. This one happens to be a small one, though, by the public come weekend, and you'll get sharp money going the other way. I've heard some sharps, and it doesn't mean the sharps are going to win, but I've heard some sharps saying they're going to come in on San Francisco the weekend of the game. They're going to wait and see if KC is going to go up at all. But as Tony mentioned, where the number sits right now, not sure some of that money hasn't started to trickle in a little bit, some respected money on San Francisco. And again, it does not mean that the sharps are going to win and the public is not. And all you got to do is go back to the college football championship to see proof of that point.
Yeah, this game, by the way, the value lies in prop betting this game, because if this game was on a regular Sunday, Scott, I would sit and watch it.
Yeah.
But this would not be the best value on the board in terms of the numbers that you're dealing with here, because they're super sharp, and it's almost a coin flip ball game.
Sure.
Don't tell that to Mrs. George. She's a fanatical Chiefs fan and beside herself. I'll be glad when the game's over, as a matter of fact. But speaking of prop bets here, a couple of them that I threw out here for you, and if San Francisco is going to be successful, they're going to have to run the football. They're going to have to eat clock, keep Kansas City off the field, do those long 8-minute, 12, 13-play drives. And I like Mossert here to get over the 80 yards against Kansas City. Now, Derrick Henry only had 69 yards in the game against Kansas City in the AFC Championship. However, bear in mind, Kansas City's defense has improved, but their game plan in the second half got thrown out the window because they had to play from behind. Thus, they kind of just abandoned the running game for the most part, and that's why that number was held down. Makes Kansas City's run defense look a little bit better than what it is. And secondly, the longest field goal in this game, the total is 46.5 yards. I'm going to go under that, -105. I think you'll see both teams going for it on fourth down here. Matter of fact, I think both teams might have a fourth down conversion, and I know there's a prop out there for that. You want to check the odds on that as well, Scott. Just a couple off the top of my head, Scott.
Sure.
I think got some real value in this game.
Yeah, I got one. And by the way, talking about your Mostert prop, Tevin Coleman may not play. As of right now, as we cut this video, he's listed as questionable. They're saying he's going to give it a shot. But we've seen Super Bowls in the past where you've got a star or potentially a key player who was injured before the Super Bowl in the couple of games during the postseason to get to the Super Bowl, where they say, okay, he's going to give it a shot, and he ends up becoming a decoy and really doesn't matter a whole lot. So if Coleman is still banged up and you got Mostert getting all the carries, then you've got even a better opportunity to cash the ticket that you like there. As far as I'm concerned, I got a prop I'm going to throw at you here. And right now, the over-under on the longest reception by San Francisco tight end George Kittle is 27.5 yards. Longest reception throughout the course of the game. And you know me, first of all, I got to say it every time I do a prop video, you want to play props that have nothing to do basically with how you think or what you think, what side you think is going to win the game, or whether you think the game is going to go over or under. Because if you're wrong on your prediction of the game, your props just add to your losses. So you got to find props that you think can happen no matter who wins the game, no matter if the game goes over or under the total. Here's the thing about Kittle. In over half of his games this season, his longest reception of those games have been less than 28 yards. Basically, that's what we need here, less than 28, totals 27.5. You'll have to lay a little bit of juice with that, maybe $1.20 or so, but again, under 27.5 yards, George Kittle's longest reception on Sunday.
Yeah, Kansas City does a nice job, too, of reducing yards after
Sure.
the catch, the way they play defense there. So that's obviously a good problem. I didn't know. I'm going to bet that. I didn't know.
And again, either
didn't
team
have
could
that.
win this game no matter what happens. His longest reception could be 10 yards, San Francisco can still win this game. Obviously, Kansas City can still win this game.
A couple of great tight ends in this game. This is off script, Scott, but who's going to have more receptions,
geez.
Kelsey or Kittle?
I want to see. I haven't found this yet. I haven't looked real hard offshore, but I want to see if there's a money line prop that you can make on who has more receptions. Will it be Kelsey or Kittle? Who's going to have more receiving yards? Will it be Kelsey or Kittle? Maybe we ought to give Jake Cornigan and some of those guys a call and see if they've posted it yet. I have not seen it yet.
I think they're both going to be very busy in this game. This is going to be one hell of a football game. You've got one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Patrick Mahomes. You've got an up-and-comer with Garoppolo. You've got two very good coaches, two very good defensive coordinators, two very good teams that have special teams that have beaten some giants to get here. But the value lies in the props. Be sure and get over to DocSports.com. Check out all the handicappers, 12 of us over there. $30 a card, and they'll have some sides, some totals, and a lot of prop bets for you. Make the Super Bowl fun this year. I'd like to say go Chiefs for Mrs. George. I told her I would, but hey, let's go on the prop bets, guys. Be sure and get over to Docs. Check us out. Best of luck this Sunday.